Um, there's a problem in Texas with mining. Is that, and
Yeah.
describe what's going on there, and do we need to be concerned
Yeah.
here?
I think you're talking about aggregate.
Yes.
Aggregate.
And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what aggregate means.
Right,
So
okay, and I, right, but sand and gravel, crushed rock, things that you don't think of as mining, it's quarrying and it's kind of boring stuff. But it turns out Arizona is #3 in the nation in aggregate production, #3 in cement production, the limestone that you grind up to make cement. The states that are bigger than us in that are states like Florida and Texas and California with populations that are 5 or 6 times our size. It's because of the growth that's going on in Arizona. So we are starting to run into the problems that Texas is running into, that Florida is having a crisis on, that Minnesota has dealt with. And it's this problem of quarries tend to be close to where you need the building materials. And so as our cities grow, all of a sudden you have a new development being built right next to an active quarry, and all of a sudden you have a conflict. It's like you put an airport out there and finally houses build up next to it and there's a conflict.
Right.
Well, conflict with quarries is over truck traffic, noise, dust, and people build up around it and then they say, we don't want this quarry here anymore, can you move? What happens is when you start moving quarries out, the studies in other states have shown when you get about 40 miles out from where you need the material, it doubles the price of the product, of the rock you need. And so that's why they tend to be close. And if you start doubling the price when you start moving out not that far, it has a huge impact on your roads, on your bridges, on the foundations of your home even. And so there's this big conflict. We want to keep prices affordable, but we have problems with urbanization. So what we've been trying to do is work with local governments as they're looking at their planning and zoning and how they deal with their aggregate resources, their limestone for cement and things like that. Identify where do the resources exist, so you don't preferentially go in and say, oh, let's develop this, and not realize that may be where you're going to have to go for the resources to make sure your economy is going to stay vibrant.
Very interesting.
So in some parts of the country it's being called the aggregate crisis because they're having these conflicts. In the greater Phoenix area, we're having some of those conflicts right now.
I'll be darned.